Took a break. We're out there.
September.
Still some August.
He started
Well, it's
at
actually 6 o'clock today, isn't it?
September
Yesterday?
is the most sunny days in New England.
Well, that's okay.
And the other months
Oh,
in,
side note.
in the year in Ohio. September is the most sunny days. And this year it is right on target. It was about this time that, how many years ago was that like that? Bluffton, it was just like this one. It was just beautiful. Not a cloud in the sky, never rained. Biked out there, stayed the weekend, biked back.
That was your... Oh, no, that wasn't when you flattened your face on the gravel that day. That was just a nice
I
ride.
never flattened my face.
Okay. Well, I know you hit one time and you flew right over your bike. I
Yes.
thought that
I
was this.
flew over. I flew over, hit the back of my
Totally,
head.
oh, you went a total flip.
A
Yeah,
total flip, yeah, total flip.
that was fun, wasn't it? And you had another 40 miles to go after that.
No, I don't know.
It felt like 40 miles.
It was there, I was closer to, I was kind of between here and the Frankie. And then I had a separated shoulder. This bone here stuck out like up here. I remember saying, wow, something's not right. My bike just went right into the ditch and stood right up. The bike was fine. The bike just kind of just carried my flipped. I saw it.
You grew an extra bone in the
It just went,
process.
the bike was perfectly fine. But I remember I said, I wonder if something's broken. I moved it all the way around. I moved it all, and I said, oh, it's all intact. I think I better bike back. Yeah, they said you got a number 2 separated shoulder. It means one of the ligaments was torn. And one of the ligaments is not torn. And what you do when one ligament's torn, it'll heal itself. It'll get right. Just worse. If both are torn, then they gotta go in there.
Yeah, I know about
But if one's torn, it'll be all right. You'll live with it.
It might heal.
Yeah,
It's gonna hurt.
Oh, it hurt.
It hurts for a long time.
I said, okay, yeah, everything's fine, you're fine. Just,
Don't bike anymore.
no. No, it's, no matter what you do, no matter what you do, you'll find it, you'll have an injury. If you go to work every day, you'll get an injury, of course. If you exercise enough, you'll get injury and exercise, but that's just the way it is. You'll get injured. If you stay at home, you'll get injured.
Go down the stairs and wear cuffs.
Yeah. One thing.
They were.
How do you do it?
You wear them
Clothes or
anymore?
your bike?
You can heal. You haven't worn them again.
No, I have different pairs of flared ones. I think I need to stitch the cuff all the way around if I'm ever gonna wear them.
song some years ago by Henry Crouch. It was a song, I think it was called Distraction. And that really, I just remember, I really liked some of the songs by Henry Crouch. He was a young man in a spirit-filled church, didn't play music. One day the keyboard player was ill. And so they brought him up and they laid hands on him and said, "It's time for you to play." They prayed over him.
Wow.
Did never played before. He went to the keyboard and he played. That's how he got involved. And he knew Jesus. It was back in the day when they had the scripture songs. He was around back then. He had some really good songs. Excuse me?
60s and 70s.
And 80s and 90s. He was the song that I'm talking about, I think was in the 90s, late 90s, about distractions. Yeah, but anyway, he's black and he has more gospel feel. And that's just kind of his feel. But he talked about distraction. And it's one of the things that the enemy really puts into our life. He does not care how we get distracted off of following Jesus. One day someone came to Jesus and says, "Good teacher, what must I do to inherit eternal life?" Jesus says, "Hey, there's no one good but God." And he said, "Have you obeyed the commandments?" He says, "Yeah." "Do you honor your father and mother?" "How about stealing? Committing adultery?" He kind of went through different. And he knew that he tried and he did all sorts of things. I think we can say that about ourselves. We've tried and we've done all sorts of things, but we know it hasn't pushed us over the top. It still isn't enough. Some years ago when it finally came through my head, I can't do enough to feel good enough. I can't do enough to feel good enough. It just won't work. Maybe I did something today, but I got to start from zero tomorrow to try to get up to this level or whatever it is. And then Jesus, it says in the scriptures, looked lovingly into this man's eyes. One thing you lack. How would you like Jesus to look you in the eye and say, "There's just one thing you lack"? It's not 50 million things. It's not this or that or the other thing. One thing you lack. I want you to go and sell everything you have and come and follow me. It says the young man went away because he was rich. He had other gods in his life. What if we would lay down the other loves and follow Jesus? I think that's basically what he's saying. It's just following me. It's putting me first. That's the big thing that we lack, is that he's not first thing. Paul says, "I got my eye on the goal." What you have your eye on? What has our attention? What has our eyes? Not necessarily physical eyes, but what has our attention is our goal. Where do your eyes wander? What do you look? What what are you wanting? Kind of the deeper thing. What do you long for? That's our goal. I got my eye on the goal. How do you hit the goal if your eye ain't there? Just think about it, right? How do you get there if your attention isn't there? If your time isn't there? If your effort isn't there? These guys have a goal today, I think, at my house. They're going to tear down my garage.
They've already done so.
It's torn down. Now they got to get this broken cement off underneath it. They can't be diddling around somewhere else. They got their eye on the goal. He prepared for the moment, brought the stuff in, brought help in. He's got a couple other guys there with him. They're doing their thing. Pray for the man. I don't know what his relationship is with Jesus, but he went to Central Christian way back when he graduated. Benita got a picture of him because his picture was on the. They have all the graduating classes in the hallway. Benita took a picture of him and sent it to me on my phone. I looked at it. I sent it to his phone. I said, "Do you know this guy?" And he says, "I don't know if I know him, but he's really handsome, isn't he?" And he had LOL, laugh out loud, and I said LOL back, and it was, I don't know, but he's really handsome, isn't he? He understood exactly. I got my eye on the goal. What's your goal? What's our goal? For some of us, our goal is just, I got to get out of bed today. I guess I need to do this. And, we have low-level goals, and we've got higher-level goals. But what's the goal of your heart? What's the goal of your heart? Why? What makes your heart sing? You know how to find what's going on in your heart. What makes you sing? What gives you joy? That's close to your heart. What upsets you? What just major ticks you off? That's close to your heart, right? What depresses you? What moves you? That's close to your heart. We can say God's close to our heart if we don't get moved. This is where it starts. Well, how do you do that? Well, you got to get to know God. How do you get in love with God if you don't know Him? You got to get to know Him. There's Paul. I got my eye on the goal. We're going all sorts of directions. What's the goal, friends? When you get to the end of life, here we are. We're climbing the ladder. Whatever ladder we're on in life, we lean it up against the wall, and we're climbing the ladder. Hopefully, when we get to the top, we won't say, "Oh my goodness, my ladder is on the wrong wall. I've been climbing all these years, and I finally realized I finally got to the top of this ladder, and it's against the wrong wall." What are we pursuing? Where are we going? Where are we headed? What is your agenda? Everybody has an agenda. Let's say that together. Everybody has an agenda. Everybody has an agenda. Sometimes some people's agenda is, I don't want to have to do anything. That's my agenda. But that's an agenda. I don't want anybody to tell me what to do. That's an agenda. I want to see so-and-so. That's an, everybody has an agenda. I just want to enjoy life. That's an agenda. Whatever it is. Sometimes I'm pursuing this. That's an agenda. What is your life purpose? I don't have a life purpose. You do have a life purpose. You do have, everyone has a life purpose. Sometimes it's the path of least resistance. I just want the path of least resistance so that things will be easier for me. And then we make decisions based upon that purpose. Well, this is the harder road, this is the easier road. I think I'll take the easier road. This is tougher to do, this is not tougher to do. I think I'll go this way. You know, whatever, everybody has a life purpose. Everybody has a life purpose. What makes you click? Where are we going? Where are you headed? Reminds me of the story in Russia. There was a pastor in Russia, and he was contemplating the direction of his life. And he went for a walk, and it was at night. He just couldn't sleep. It was dark out. And he came up to where this fence was, and there was an armed guard there. And he drew his gun, and he pointed it at him and says, "Who are you? Why are you here?" And the pastor contemplated that. And all of a sudden, it's like God spoke to me. "Who are you? Why are you here?" All of a sudden, he says, "Thank you. You've helped me out." And he walked back on. It starts with, who are you? Who really are you? Some people are trying to search that all their life. Who am I? It's the wrong question. Jesus says, if you lose your life for my sake, you'll find life. How do you like that one? He flips it on its head. If you try to pursue life on your own, you won't find life. If you give your life away for me, you'll actually find life for the first time. What do you think about that? Most people come to Jesus when?
Before they're 10 years old.
Okay. Or when their life's a mess. We don't come to Jesus when our life's great. Why? It's because we finally come to the end of ourselves. We can't follow Jesus if we still have our own agenda. If we haven't come to the end of ourselves, how can we follow Him? Right? How can we? We're not open to that because we still got our plans. We still got our agenda. We still got our thoughts. We still got our ideas and our opinions. But when we've exhausted them all and realize, I can't lead my life well, that's when we finally give it up. And that's where we find life. Your decisions determine your destiny. most people come to Christ before 10. It was like 95. It's like 95 plus people come to Christ before they're 18 years old. After 18, it's harder. Why? We're in our lives. You can't keep teaching old dog new tricks. Well, you can't. But you know what? The old dog likes the old ways. I think we understand this, right? That's the way it is. It's hard to change later on. There's a lot of water under the bridge. We have to come to a crisis. And that's when things have just really exploded. And if that's what it takes, yes, that's, for most of us, that's what it takes. Everybody ends up somewhere. Let's say that together. Everybody ends up somewhere. Few people end up somewhere on purpose. Few people end up somewhere on purpose. Still fewer people end up somewhere on purpose following God. Some of us, our agendas may be below the surface. I don't have an agenda. How many know everybody has a bias? Start talking about politics, you'll figure it out. Everybody has a bias. Everybody has an agenda. Everybody has an idea. Everybody has an agenda. That's why people don't want to talk about politics, because it sort of just brings it to the head. We can talk about everything but politics and religion. We can talk about it. We can talk about the food. People argue about food too. This is found in, this first verse is found in Proverbs. Where there's no vision, the people perish. That's what it says in the King James. If you don't have a vision, these are the various translations of this same, various translations of the same verse. Where there's no revelation, the people cast off restraint. If you don't have a real revelation in a direction, you just cast off restraint and do whatever you want. When people do not accept divine guidance, they run wild. How do you like that? If you don't accept divine guidance, you just run wild and do your own thing. Where there's no vision, the people get out of control. Or, where there's no understanding of the Word of God, the people do whatever they want to do. That's all the same verse. That's why it's good to look these things up in different translations. You can get to the nugget and you say, well, that's the one for me. And chances are there's one up there that hits you better than others. Matt Evans, some years ago, he's an Olympic marksman. That's a gun. He's an Olympic marksman. And they have the same type of thing that you would shoot with, like arrows with, targets. He had one shot left. He was so far above and beyond where the other people were, all he had to do was hit the target to get the gold medal. It didn't matter where on the target. His bullet just had to hit the target. He was so far ahead of everybody else to win the gold medal. So Matt, on his final shot, aimed, he fired, he hit right in the center of the target. But the light didn't go up. The green light didn't go up. He said, well, it must have malfunctioned. And then 3 judges over here were conferring. And they came to him and says, you hit the target, but it was in the wrong lane. have to answer to God what we did with our life. You tell me, how's that conversation going to go? Here it is in Hebrews 4:14. God knows, let's say this together. God knows about everyone, everywhere. Everything about us is bare and wide open to the all-seeing eyes of our living God. Nothing can be hidden from Him, to whom we must explain all that we have done. How's that conversation going to go? Someday, you and I must give an account. You may not like me. I really don't. Well, I guess I do. You know, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you don't like this message, talk to God. I mean, I'm just trying to get out of the way. And sometimes I'm successful or more successful, but sometimes I'm not successful. Sometimes I get in the way and you get more Ron than God, and I'm sorry. Pray for me. You know, I am trying. But we're going to have a conversation someday with God Almighty. How's it going to go, friend? If I didn't tell you this, if you're here, it's not a mistake you're here. It's not a fluke you're here. It's not a happenstance you're here. This is not even on my series. Little series. Didn't seem right. Someday I'm going to have to stand before God and say, did you tell him what I told you to tell him? Yeah, I did. I have to do that. I need to do that. I must do that. It ain't gonna go along with that, chances are you'll hit it. And everybody has to go. We talked about it. The problem is many of us are aiming for the wrong thing. Matt Emmons thought he was aiming for the right goal. Many of us here this morning we think we've got the right goal. Will you talk to God about that? Will you honestly have an honest conversation with Him? Would you rather make midterm corrections rather than someday having the bad news? Why didn't you talk to me along the way? I was right there with you. God's for us, friends. He's for you. He wants the best for your life, for my life. Sometimes we think He's an inconvenience. He's wanting us to go a direction that's really not the right one. You know what the problem with many Christians are? We initially make a step towards Jesus, but we don't go far enough. Reminds me of this poem that says, I only want like 50 cents worth of God. I don't want the whole thing. I just want some of it. I don't want all of it. I just want enough to feel a little bit better. We don't want all of God. We don't go far enough. That's what Martin Luther thought. That's what the whole Reformation was, and why many Christians got killed. Because they said the Catholic Church didn't go far enough. They went this far and stopped. How about if we really give the word to the people? And they start doing it. They start, there's this, well, he's the pastor and then there's the laity. Now, we're all ministers. I wonder how many of us will hit the target, but later in life realize that we're aiming at the wrong target. That's where we climb the ladder and discover at the top where our ladder's against the wrong wall. Get your sights set on the right target now. Hitting the wrong target at the expense of the right one will cause untold problems for you and others. And the regrets will be deeper than you could ever imagine. Because it will pass a legacy on to our children. Whatever we're doing now is passing a legacy on to our kids. As Moses says, choose life so that you and your children can live. This is not about you. We think our decisions just are about me and it won't affect anybody else. That's a lie. Choose life so that you and your children can live. I mean, think about how we are. We are products of our parents. What they did has a profound impact in our life. And when is the nonsense going to stop? Which generation is going to break that curse?